Quick reminder to make sure you're giving your best energy and your fullest attention for the lessons. Today's lesson is full of information, so watch and listen as closely as you can. Today we'll be taking a step back and looking at the whole book of James and the actual topics that the author writes about in the book. But we'll be doing that from the perspective of our mnemonic objects. Now, I've shown you that our mnemonic object for the first chapter is a hat. See if you can remember these three topics that go with the hat. Greeting, because you doff your hat as a greeting. Trials and various instructions, which you can remember because Loab is sitting on the hat in the den. And doers of the word. Think of someone telling Loab to stop just sitting on the hat and actually to get up and do something. So if you remember that, you'll remember all three major topics that go with the first chapter of James. The verse that we looked at yesterday, James 1:12, is our key verse for the second major topic of James 1, where he's sitting on the hat. Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him. That verse relates to the second topic in James 1. What we'll be doing is we'll be starting our memory with a major verse from each topic, from each major topic in the chapters. Now let's take a quick look at some of Loab's other objects and the topics that they relate to. Object 2 is a handful of snow. Where Loab got it, I'm not sure, but you can remember that the snow is object 2 because they're both one-syllable words that end with an O sound. Snow, 2, kind of similar. Object 3 is a ham. Yeah, kind of morbid. Loab is completely clueless as to what this thing is, so don't tell him or he'll probably freak out. Try to remember that the ham is number 3 because of this bit of bone back here that's shaped like a 3. Object 4 is a sorry. Again, I don't know where Loab gets this stuff. This is the only object with an R in the name, so try to associate sorry with 4 that way. Object 5 is a whistle. It's shaped a little bit like the number 5. So those are the objects. Now here are the topics that we'll cover with most of those objects. What's object 2? Again, 2, snow. Object 2 is the ball of snow. What do you do with a ball of snow? You throw it at someone. Let's throw it at the ugliest person in the room. Oh wait, that's partiality, isn't it? Oh well, throw it anyway. Look at that guy standing there. He's standing there praying that the snowball doesn't hit him. He could just step out of the way. Faith without works. So remember, when you see the snowball, partiality and faith without works. What's object 3? The ham. And who doesn't like ham? It looks so good I just want to taste it. I just want to put my tongue out and give it a try. But something tells me that's not socially acceptable. I have just enough wisdom not to taste the food I'm carrying around. Tongue and wisdom. Object 4 is the sorry. It just looks like a pile of cloth right now, but what a gaudy, worldly object to keep around the house. Hey, what, isn't it reasonable to judge anyone who would keep something as pointless as an Indian sari? In fact, I know for a fact that tomorrow I'm going to go around my house and burn all the saris that I can find. Okay, so that's a bit of a stretch, but try to remember that the sari is associated with worldliness, judging brothers, and then boasting about tomorrow. Object 5 is the whistle, which covers the most topics of any chapter, and we'll go over those later. For now, try to remember the topics of the first 4 chapters. So to recap, number 1 is the hat, and you'll think of greetings, and then the trials and various instructions from Loab sitting on the hat. And from that, you go to doers of the word. Don't just sit there. And then number 2 is snow, and we'll think of throwing the snowball. So the topics are partiality and faith without works, because the guy just stood there and didn't move. Then object 3 is the ham, and you'll think of the tongue and wisdom. And then number 4 is the sorry, and from the sorry we think about worldliness, judging brothers, and boasting about tomorrow. And then we'll get to all the topics in chapter 5 tomorrow. Now, when you do the quiz below, don't spend too much time trying to get these answers word perfect. If you accidentally spell something wrong, but you still got the answer right, just click the Override I Was Right button and move on. Also, for example, if you say that the contents of chapter 4 are worldliness, judging, and boasting about tomorrow, but the quiz says that you're wrong and the real answer is worldliness, judging brothers, and boasting about tomorrow, just say close enough, click the override button, and move on. What's most important when you're quizzing is to remember the stories that I've told, remember the mnemonics that I've given you during the lesson, and be constantly thinking about those as you're answering the questions. That's going to help more than anything else.